All right, this is the Wednesday, November 29th edition of the Carolina Weather Video. A lot to talk about. I'm going to spend a good bit of time talking about our pattern change coming up in December as we get a little bit deeper into the video. But let's start off with a look at what's happening as I cut the video. 5 o'clock hour. There's your Greensboro tower camera. Had some clouds earlier in the night. They're basically gone now. Same deal around Charlotte. There's the Bank of America Stadium perspective on things this morning. Just a light wind stirring around. Clouds earlier, gone now. That really held our temperatures up in many spots. These are temperatures just prior to 6 a.m. The difference in temperature, rather, this morning compared to yesterday. And the bottom line is it's a much milder morning all across the Carolinas, at least in most spots. Exception being the Virginia border counties, similar temperatures there. But most folks, much, much milder. Instead of 20s and 30s, it's 40s in many spots here on this Wednesday morning. All right, radar, satellite, pretty quiet. The clouds that helped to work as a blanket and hold temperatures up earlier in the night, they're largely gone now, and it's pretty quiet over the southeast. Now, we do have this area of rain in Oklahoma, Kansas, Nebraska, Arkansas. That's with an area of low pressure centered back in the middle part of the country. But this whole frontal system is basically going to fall apart before it ever makes it into our area. Now, the second front here in the Rockies, that's the one that will get here by tomorrow night. More on that in just a second. Pretty mild setup over the eastern part of the country ahead of all these frontal systems. In fact, it's 50 in Boston and New York early this morning. All right, there's your setup today. That frontal boundary, again, off to the west of us, not really having a big impact on our weather. So a very nice day. 70 in Charlotte, 72 Columbia and Fayetteville, 70 in Raleigh, mid and upper 60s around the Triad region. And not a bad night ahead for tonight either. Now, tomorrow, frontal boundary approaches from the west. By late afternoon, could see a few showers in the mountains, and then maybe a few of these showers crossing into the Piedmont zones overnight tomorrow night into very early Friday morning, and then that front's very quickly gone as we do get into Friday. Now, this will not be a significant rain event. There are the European computer model rain totals pretty underwhelming. Futurecast is even less impressed, and this is probably pretty accurate. Just not a lot of rain, but maybe a few showers in the Piedmont and foothill zones overnight tomorrow night, and anywhere from, say, late afternoon into tomorrow evening for the mountain areas. Temperatures, there's your Thursday highs, Friday relatively comparable around the region. Now, I mentioned the wedge setup for Saturday in yesterday's video. Still a bit of a wedge, but it looks like less rain. Not a lot of rain looking likely at all Saturday. Some clouds for a period of time, but not a lot of rain. And then we're back to sunshine for Sunday. So temperatures held down a bit Saturday, but not as much as it appeared it could be yesterday due to the lack of rain. And then Sunday still looking relatively mild. Now, a big pattern change next week. This is the start of next week. And we get a big trough dive into the eastern part of the country. So look at these surface temperatures here off the European model. This is out at the 7th of December. And then notice even colder here, trying to plunge to the Midwest toward the end of next week, toward the 9th of December. I'll show you that in detail here in some of the modeling in just a second. Quick look at the ski resort areas. Not bad. Beach, Cataloochee, Sugar Mountain remaining open. Appalachian will open as soon as they can. And, of course, we're nearing the end of tropical season. No sign of any tropical development across the Atlantic basin. All right, let's get into some of the longer range ideas here. All right, so here's what happens. Let's go right here. This is the European ensemble mean, 500 millibar heights, or at least height anomalies, I guess I should say. And here's what happens. We get this big ridge develop along the west coast of North America. This is Monday evening of next week. That ridge really amplifies, and there you go. There's your big trough in the eastern part of the country. This is valid Wednesday evening of next week, and then all the way out to the end of the run. This is all the way out to Wednesday evening, the 13th of December. You still have that same basic pattern in place. And so that allows for some pretty cold temperatures to drop into the eastern part of the country, and that pattern could lock in for a while. The European operational run here, there's the 5,000-foot temperatures next Wednesday. That's a pretty decent shot of cold air moving in. We go out to the GFS. It's pretty comparable. At the end of the operational runs, there's the European model. That's, again, an even colder shot of air by the end of next work week. And then this is the GFS all the way out at the 14th of December. that cold pattern just settling in. So I think once we flip this pattern, middle of next week, it could lock into a cold pattern in the eastern part of the country for quite a while. In fact, this is for Charlotte. And what this is this is the temperatures, the surface temperatures basically, and this line right here is basically relative to average. And so you're looking at a lot of below average temperatures once we flip that pattern on through the end of the run. And so what does that look like in terms of actual temperatures? This is the GFS ensemble mean. So you look at all these highs in the 40s down the road. And if you're wondering, yes, the European ensemble mean is very, very similar as we get deeper into the forecast period. So that pattern change is coming. All right, that is it for the latest edition of the Carolina Weather Video. Thank you for watching. Everybody have a great day, and God bless.